Hey everybody, Chris K here, and you're listening to the Productive Parks 5-Minute Podcast, the show for busy people working to change the game in the parks and recreation field. Today we're going to be talking about preventing heat-related illness in maintenance staff. As summer kicks into full swing, visitors fill parks and outdoor facilities to enjoy recreation programming and amenities. Summer also means that more of your staff work outdoors in the elements, exposed to heat, humidity, and sunlight. You want to be sure that your staff remains safe, especially when the temperatures get extreme. Being aware of heat-related illness symptoms allows staff to monitor themselves, their coworkers, and any visitors exposed to prolonged periods of heat. In this article, we're going to learn the risks of working in the heat. Then we'll review some of the early warning signs and what to do if you notice someone experiencing them. Finally, get ideas on how your agency can help prevent heat-related illness. Parks and recreation staff are at a greater risk. During the summer, many park maintenance staff spend a lot of time outdoors. Whether mowing, maintaining trails, conducting playground inspections, or performing other essential tasks, they deal with the heat. Prolonged exposure to heat and humidity makes maintenance workers more vulnerable to heat-related illness. More seasoned park maintenance workers may better understand heat risks and how to navigate working in hot temperatures. But what about the younger, seasonal staff? Those who run programs throughout the day, like day camp staff or lifeguards, may be at a greater risk. Many of these staff are younger, seasonal workers unaware of the heat's dangers. In fact, children and teens don't adjust as quickly to heat as adults. Their bodies produce more heat and less sweat. They may not understand the importance of staying hydrated and resting throughout the day. It's not just the temperature and humidity. Many heat-related illnesses affect those doing strenuous activity outdoors. When maintenance and other workers engage in intense work, their bodies create heat. This metabolic heat combines with the environmental heat to raise core temperatures to dangerous levels. Work considered heavy and very heavy puts workers at the highest risk of heat-related illness. Heavy work can include shoveling, landscaping, carrying loads, stacking lumber, felling trees, heavy carpentry. Heavy work can include using an axe, intense digging, climbing ladders and stairs, brick or stone masonry, anything done at near maximum pace. Understanding heat-related illness. Heat-related illness occurs when the body cannot release heat quickly enough. Here are some of the most common threats staff face when working outdoors in the summertime. Heat cramps. Heat cramps are painful muscle cramps and spasms after intense activity in high heat. They are the mildest form of heat illness. Common symptoms include painful cramps and spasms, especially in the legs, arms, or trunk. Skin can be flushed or moist. What to do? Discontinue the activity and move to a cool resting place. Remove any excess clothing and apply a cool cloth to the skin. Encourage the consumption of sports drinks containing salt and sugar. Heat rash. Heat rash occurs when the sweat is trapped in the skin because the sweat ducts get clogged. The sweat cannot get through the pores, so it causes the skin to get irritated. Sweat ducts can also get clogged due to dead skin cells, sweat collecting between skin and clothing, and hormone changes. Anyone can develop a heat rash, but it's most common in babies and children. Common symptoms. Clusters of red bumps on the skin, usually appearing around the neck or upper chest and skin folds. What to do? Cool the skin and avoid further exposure to heat. Apply a cool cloth to the affected area and allow better airflow between the skin and clothing. Heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion results from the body's loss of water and salt. It occurs when the body is unable to cool itself effectively. When not treated, heat exhaustion can lead to heat stroke. Common symptoms include heavy sweating, dizziness, headaches, fatigue, and a weak but fast pulse. Skin can be cold, pale, and clammy. Body temperature is elevated. What to do? Move to a cool place, loosen clothing, and apply cool, wet cloths to the body. Sip water or sports drinks. Monitor symptoms carefully to ensure that the condition doesn't turn into heat stroke. Heat stroke. Heat stroke occurs when the body is overwhelmed by heat and cannot regulate itself. This is a life-threatening situation that requires immediate medical attention. Common symptoms: high fever, warm and dry skin, rapid heart rate, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, and lethargy. Heat stroke victims can also have headaches, confusion, slurred speech, and agitation. In extreme cases, seizures, coma, and death are possible. What to do? Get the person to a cool area and call the emergency number immediately. Remove any excess clothing, especially protective gear. Place ice or cold wet towels on the hand, neck, trunk, armpits, and groin. Try to circulate air around the individual. Offer cool fluids if the individual is alert and able to drink. Preventing heat-related illness in parks and recreation workers. As we all know, we can't control the weather. We can, however, control what we do while working in the heat. Hydration. Drink plenty of fluids throughout the day, whether you're thirsty or not. OSHA recommends drinking at least 1 cup of water every 20 minutes. Also, replace salts and minerals lost while sweating with sports drinks. Appropriate clothing. Be sure the team is dressed appropriately for the heat. Encourage maintenance workers to wear light-colored, loose-fitting, and breathable clothing when possible. A hat also helps shield workers from the sun. Take breaks. Encourage your staff to take more short breaks, preferably out of the heat. According to the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, when temperatures top out at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, those doing moderate work should take a 15-minute break after 45 minutes of working. Those doing heavy work should rest 30 minutes after 30 minutes of work. You can get more guidelines from the website NIOSHwork/rest schedule. Employer responsibilities. Provide training. It's critical that all parks and recreation staff are trained to work safely in the heat and know what to do when someone suffers from a heat-related illness. Training about heat-related issues should be included as part of onboarding new staff. Training for work in the heat could include topics like risks of excessive heat, appropriate clothing, self-care and staying cool, heat-related illness symptoms, first aid for heat-related illness, location of emergency plans and safety protocols for each asset. Let new staff get acclimated to working in the heat. According to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, most outdoor heat-related fatalities occur in the first few days when new staff are working in hot environments. The body needs to gradually build a tolerance to the heat. Also, provide a refresher training each year before the weather starts to get too hot. Above all, foster a culture where everyone is watching out for each other when working in extreme heat. Emergency plans and safety protocols. In addition to training, be sure that safety protocols are in place for working and programming during excessive heat. Plans include oversight of workers, how to respond to heat advisories, ensuring PPE and first aid supplies are available, and when to contact emergency services. Accessible emergency plans and safety protocols allow staff to quickly reference the guides to make the best, safest decisions. Hydration and cooling opportunities. As part of a safe work environment, you want to be sure that all your employees have access to water and other hydrating drinks. When possible, offer cooling areas where staff can get a break from the heat, especially if they're working outdoors all day. Adjust work schedules. Pay close attention to weather forecasts and schedule the heaviest work during the coolest times of the day. During an excessive heat wave, determine what essential tasks that need to get done and what can be deferred until the weather gets better. The takeaway. Individuals of all ages and walks of life are at risk for developing a heat-related illness when working in extreme heat. Proper training, precautions, and supervision help to keep all employees safer in the heat. Encourage a culture where everyone looks out for one another to help avoid dangerous heat-related illnesses. Well, that's a wrap. Be sure to be careful out there in the heat, and thanks again for listening to the Productive Parks 5-Minute Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.